about you, but I love water, so welcome to my channel. My name's Mark, and if you haven't been here before, I'm a 58-year-old ultra distance runner living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. I'm originally a Kiwi and loving this part of the world now. So yeah, it's been a little while since I gave you an update on how my running career is going, and well, in short, it's going fantastic. So in this video, I'll just give you a little bit of an update on what's going on, but let's find ourselves some more water to sit by because I really love water. Oh, okay, here we go. So yeah, it's been a few days since I've posted a video about my running process and where everything is at, and in short, everything is going fantastic. In fact, I decided after my last video just to put myself in a little bit of a bubble for a while and really knuckle down on my training, get really super focused, although I was before, but I just wanted to really get away from social media and all that stuff and just put some really emphasis into some good quality training without having to put stuff online about it. And of course this is a choice, but there we go, that's what I did. So yeah, for the last couple of weeks it's been really good. I've got a lot of intensity back into my training. I've added speed work back into it, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about those sessions and what else I've been up to. So if you watched a lot of my videos, you'll know that I swear by the MAF running process, which is all very slow heart rate running and allowing your body to build an aerobic base on a lot of foundation. I've been doing that now for about 6 weeks. So I decided it was time to add a speed work session in every week. And one of the things I'm very lucky about living where I do is I have this beautiful park that I'm sitting at now, and there's an internal road that goes around the park which happens to be 310 meters around a circle, and it's pretty much like a running track, so I can use that for doing intervals. So I've created my own session where I do a 2 kilometer warm-up, and then I do 12 reps around the park. So I'll do 1 rep and then a recovery and then another rep and then a recovery until I've done that 12 different times. So that's how I do my interval sessions around here. And at the moment I've done 2 weeks of that, so I've been building up and I'm getting faster each week, which is really good. But in addition to the speed, I'm actually getting stronger, so I feel my body actually being able to maintain that speed on my longer runs a little bit higher. So that's been a really good outcome of doing those speed sessions as well. Now, a lot of people when they get to my age will start realizing that if you push it too far with the speed work, you'll probably have a higher risk of getting injured, and that's something you've got to be a little bit cautious about. But I'm not here to coach anybody, so I'm just doing what's right for me and what feels good for me. And at the moment it's going really well. So yeah, that's a interval session that I've incorporated now. I do that every Monday morning, and that helps me to start off the week really well. It gives me a really good emphasis to feel my body working hard, going fast. It's just a really good feeling, so I like to start my week off doing that session. And then I have a rest the next day, and then I go into a long slow run. And last week I got up to about 15 kilometers, so that was pretty good, and I'm handling that pretty good now in the heat here in Cancun. And as I've spoken about before on my channel, one of the challenges that I have living here is training in the heat, and I use that as a positive because I think it's a really good thing, and I can feel myself getting stronger because of that. So as the weeks have gone by in my training, I'm getting stronger, I'm able to run further, and I'm just generally feeling overall better and fitter. So it was time to introduce another type of session into my training, and that was a kilometer repeat session. So again, what I do is a 2 kilometer warm up, and before every run I go out to do, I always do a dynamic stretching session that lasts about 10 minutes. And it's just a case of getting the body warmed up, getting the body ready to go, making sure those muscles and joints are just ready for the force that I'm about to put through them. So that's something I do religiously, is warming up and warming down after and before every run. Kind of a religion for me, that one, because I just think it's really important. Working and feeling good, and then a couple of strides at the end of that, and those strides are typically about 20 to 50 meters in distance, and I'll just do that 4 or 5 times just to get the body moving at speed. And then I'll run a kilometer repeat, so I'll do a kilometer a little bit faster than race pace. And for me, race pace, of course, because I'm running ultra marathon distance. Race pace is not your typical 10k pace, so I'll do that, and I'll run 1 kilometer at above race pace, and then I'll do a kilometer recovery run, which is probably about 70% of race pace, and then I'll do another one of those, and then I'll do 10 of those, so 10 repeats of a kilometer session. And by the time you've got to the end of that here in this heat, you're really feeling it, and that's been really good as well. So I've done 2 weeks of those as well. So 2 weeks of different types of speed and tempo works, an interval session on a Monday, a rest on a Tuesday, a long run on a Wednesday, and then the kilometer repeats on a Thursday, and then another slow run on Friday, and then my long weekend run I actually do on a Saturday. So that's how my week works out, and I've got back into doing regular daily core exercises, weights and mobility training. So really happy with where I'm at the moment, and I've got about a month to go now before I do my 50 kilometer ultra marathon challenge that I'm creating for myself, which is around this very park here that I'm showing you today. So that's going to be really exciting, and I'm starting that run at midnight. So yeah, what else has been happening? Well, I started my other YouTube channel, told you about that in the last video. That's all about rugby, and I'm following the Rugby World Cup, making analysis and commentary on that. And if you happen to be interested in rugby, here's the link in the description of this video, and you can go and check it out. That's going really well, taking a lot of my time, keeping me busy, but I'm really excited about it, and it's going very well, connecting with a lot of rugby fans across the world. And that's really good, because it's getting my mind away from just thinking about running all the time and doing running all the time. So I think it's good to have a bit of a balance in your life sometimes. Now, a couple of things on gear. I bought myself this new water container. You can see here, it's a fantastic container, holds quite a few liters of water, and I use this every day to measure, making sure that I'm getting enough hydration during the day, because on top of it being super hot here, it's very humid in Cancun, so I've got to make sure I'm getting plenty of electrolytes. So I put 1 electrolyte tablet in this container, and drink that during the day, as well as my electrolytes that I drink on my runs every day. So I'm getting plenty of electrolytes. On the nutrition front, the diet's going pretty well at the moment. Still a few things that I need to improve, but overall I'm pretty happy with that and the way that it's going. Now, I've said a few times in previous videos that I'm not a big tech guy when it comes to running. I like to run by feel and just enjoy the experience, rather than being micromanaged by data, and a lot of people are, we know that, but I try and stay away from that. But I did buy myself this Garmin Forerunner 45 when I went to the UK, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a very basic model. It's the lowest model, or the beginner's entry level to Garmin sports watches, GPS watches. It's very functional. It gives me heart rate, it gives me pacing, it gives me distance, and yeah, everything I need. And yeah, it's a very good little addition to my training program, that's for sure. So enjoying that. Garmin Forerunner 45. They are not sponsoring this video, they're not a sponsor. Yeah, it's just going all really well now. Really happy with my training. Going to be increasing the distances of my long runs, so I want to push up again, up over 20, 25, 30 kilometers, and just start getting stronger and stronger from those, because with adding the speed work in, my natural pace is increasing as well. So I'm not putting any expectations on the 50k ultra that I'm going to do as far as time goes. I'm just going to get out there, enjoy the run, build into it, and see how I go. Basically, that's the plan for it. You know, ultra running is all about it's so funny, I watch a lot of people on online about their ultra running, starting off their careers and the rest of it, and they're worried about their basic things, about their gear and all the rest of it, and poles and and all that sort of stuff. But ultra running is about learning how to suffer, and it's all about up here, right? So if you can control the mind for how many hours you're going to be out there, whether it be, you know, 50, 100k, 100 miles, you've got to be able to dial this thing in, and that's what the most important thing is. And just so many people don't go out there and train the mind. They spend all this money on shoes and equipment and stuff, and yet when it comes to ultra distance running, it's all about what's going on between the two ears. So I do my own things. I do meditation on a daily basis. I also have done a resilience training course, to give me the tools and educate me on how to deal with different mind situations that will occur during an ultra marathon run. And I found those to be really helpful. So there are certain techniques that I use when I start to get into that pain cave in helping me deal with fatigue and some of that negativity that can come into your head. So if you are out there and you're getting into ultra marathon running and maybe you haven't done anything like that before, don't neglect the mental side of it, because it is such a big side of learning how to deal with it. And let's face it, there's not many things we do in our life for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 hours continuously, right? We just don't do that in our life. So doing that for the first time can be a bit of a shock to the system. And when the body's aching and complaining, and it was really interesting to hear Eliud Kipchoge talking before the Berlin Marathon last weekend, and he was talking about, look, it doesn't matter how good a marathon runner you are, and doesn't matter how fast you run, everybody hurts in the marathon, everybody feels pain, and it's how you deal with that pain and how you manage it is the determination of what happens in your results. And I believe that as well when it comes to training. So if you get out there and you practice controlling your mind and putting things in place to get through those periods where you don't feel so good, you can actually have some really massive gains. So that's something I don't neglect in my training, and I put a lot of emphasis into it. And you know, I think the other thing is that I want to share is that as I'm learning and continue to learn, and you always do as a runner, it doesn't matter how old you are, you'll find things that work for your body that work for nobody else at certain times of the day, the month, the year. And I did, you know, over 3,000 miles of training before I went and did my run in the UK. And yet now that I'm doing another training block, I'm doing things a little bit differently because I learned from that experience and I found out what works best for me. So incorporating a little bit of speed work now, getting stronger on those long runs, being able to run a little bit faster, all those things are helping me overall. So it's just a matter of getting out there and experimenting with all sorts of things. So if you're the kind of runner that just goes out there and runs every day and doesn't really think about changing things up to find out what works best for you, maybe you want to give it a go, because you'll find little things that make a big difference. And it can be the shoes that you wear, it can be the socks that you wear, it can be the time of day that you go for a run. You know, a lot of people, I'm a morning guy, I hate running at night, so I'll never go for a run at night time. But a lot of people love running at night time. So it's just finding those things that really work for you, and then dialing into those and creating really good habits around them. So that's also true when it comes to diet, right? If you find a diet that works really well for you and it gives you the energy that you need, like a lot of people think they're eating well, but they've got no energy and they've got no fuel, and they're being starved of nutrition, yet they think they're eating well. So again, it's about experimenting what's right for you and what works for you. And as we know, a lot of things come into consideration when you do that, because it's your age, it's your, whether you're a man or a woman, it's all those different idiosyncrasies that are unique to you. So you know, all I can say on that front is get out there and experiment. Life is a great experiment, and the more we experiment, not only in our training but in life in general, that's why I think it's good to go and do new kinds of races. Create your own race like I am, and just put yourself in different situations, because one of the other things about running marathons and ultra marathons and long distance endurance events is that during those events you're going to come across all sorts of different situations that you never got confronted with before, and you've got to deal with those. So the more comfortable you are in being able to adapt to a new situation that you're thrown into, the more chances of success that you've got. Well, that's what I think anyway. So I try to do that in my training. I run in different places, I put myself in different situations. I'm training in the excessive heat here in Cancun, and all those things are giving me an opportunity to test myself under different and constantly changing conditions. So there we go. I don't know whether that's wisdom or stupidity. You can take it for what you want, but that's what I'm doing anyway. So that's what I've been up to over the last 2 weeks. It's going really well. As I said, I've got about 5 weeks now until my 50-kilometer ultra marathon challenge that I've created, and super excited about it because I'm feeling really good. And I know already that it's going to be a really good outcome for me either way. I'm going to learn a lot, about where I'm at in my training and be able to take that next step. So hope your training is going well, whatever you're doing, whatever you're training for. Drop me a note in the comments, let me know what you're up to, and love to hear from you on my channel. And thanks very much for supporting me. I will be making more regular videos. I've just been really busy with the rugby channel, with the Rugby World Cup on, and I'll get back to making more videos about my running process as well. Okay, well that's about it. Time to go. There's a rugby game about to start in the Rugby World Cup, so I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you again for your support. Stay well, stay safe, and stay happy out there, people. And I'll see you again soon in the next video. Until then, bye for now.